Teacher talking sports, what it does, what do, how we live. In week 2 NFL action begins tonight with the Green Bay Packers taking on the Washington Commanders. So let's make my picks against the spread. And just like last year, I did not get off to a good start, as you see. 5-11 in week 1. Ouch. So many close games, though, where I lost by half a point, but no excuses. But last year I went 2-13-1 in week 1. Yeah. And you see, I finished with a winning record. So even if I struggle this year, I'll still have more seasons with a winning record than a losing record. But let's get back on track and rebound. And if I don't, yeah, come here and, go against my picks, earn yourself some money. But let's start with the Thursday night game. And this one was tough because, maybe I'm a little biased. Jaden Daniels is my fantasy quarterback, but the Packers just look so good in that week 1 performance against the Lions. You figure, it is a short week, so you don't know if Micah Parsons is going to play more snaps, but nonetheless, yes, give me them on the road. Give them me at home. Sorry, favorite by 3. Again, short week. Terry McLaurin didn't really have much of a performance in week 1, but he did have a pass where he was wide open deep, and Daniels just overthrew him a little bit. I'm a Giants fan, and yeah, I think I'll pick them when Jackson Dart makes his first start because I feel like he'll spark the team at least for 1 week. But until then, it's going to be hard to take them unless the spread is something ridiculous. And the Cowboys look better than expected against the Eagles. So, yeah, they win by at least a touchdown. And, the game's in Green Bay. I was right. Bills, man, just they got to be flying high after that huge comeback win against the Baltimore Ravens. And meanwhile, the Jets, I'm sure their heads are up high, but a surprising offensive performance, but allowed Aaron Rodgers to throw 4 touchdown passes. Chris Boswell, 60-yard field goal. Right now, I just think the Bills are, once again, head and shoulders better than anyone else in their division. Even on the road, I got them as nearly touchdown favorites. Ravens, man, you got to think they got to be coming out guns a-blazing against the Browns. And I know the Browns performed admirably against the Bengals. Wasn't for their rookie kicker, they probably would have won that game, but I kind of foresee Joe Flacco throwing a pick 6 in this game, and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Not the easiest team to run on, the Browns, but, they'll do their damage, and the Ravens win by about 2 touchdowns. This one was hard, but right now, the Titans, if they lost that Broncos game by 8, it just shows that they're not very good at the moment, and I think Cam Ward will be a good pro, but it's early. Just not enough talent around him. But yeah, the Broncos made so many mistakes, and again, beat the Titans by 8. Rams have a great pass rush, just as the Broncos do, and shouldn't make Cam Ward's life easy, so give me the Rams. Bengals always start slow, but man, what a disappointing week 1, even in a win. Meanwhile, the Jaguars, I didn't make a prediction video, but I really thought they had a very good chance to win the AFC South. And not saying they win this game. I'm not sure if I'd pick them straight up, but I do think they are able to keep it relatively close and lose by a field goal or win. This one was also hard because the Saints, yeah, they look like arguably the worst team in the NFL, but we know the 49ers are already quite injured. Brock Purdy not expected to play. Mac Jones will get the start. Of course, Brandon Ayuk's not back yet. I believe Jawan Jennings will be out. George Kittle's on the IR. I still think, they have Christian McCaffrey. They'll still do enough to win this game. And Ben Johnson going against his former team. I do like taking, not always, but I do like taking these games where it seems like the team should have a little extra motivation. You know, it's actually the reason I took Aaron Rodgers in FanDuel last week. He threw 4 touchdowns. So, yes, Ben Johnson, of course, going against the team he's the offensive coordinator for. And man, if he's able to win, how much talk is going to be with the Lions surrounding, it was Ben Johnson or, it was Aaron Glenn. Of course, they lost both of their coordinators, and, the first game, at least, especially on the offensive end, was a dud against the Green Bay Packers. Now let's look at the other half of the week 2 schedule. Yeah, I don't think the Steelers' offense will be as good as it looked all season in week 1. Again, Rodgers had a little extra motivation. Seahawks, Sam Darnold, a somewhat subpar week 1, looking like Jack Charbonnet might be overtaking Kenneth Walker as the team's top running back. But I also don't think the Steelers' defense is as bad as it looked week 1. Nonetheless, this will be a close game. And call this one a hunch, this next one. Dolphins, if you had to power rank the teams only by week 1, they probably would be 32nd. A lot of issues going on. I don't know. I don't think they're that bad. I'm not saying they're a playoff team. Patriots didn't look very good in week 1. They're back in their home stadium after being on the road against the Colts. I actually took Tua and Tyreek in FanDuel. I think Tua rebounds big time in this game. The Dolphins secondary, not very good, but they do got some pass rushers like a Chop Robinson to make Drake May's life a little more difficult. So, yes, call me crazy, but I got the Dolphins rebounding and winning that game. Panthers plus 6.5 at Cardinals. I don't know. I took the Saints plus 6.5 last week against the Cardinals, and they lost by 7. So just expect the Cardinals to win by 7 again and me to lose by half a point. But Broncos at Colts, man. So, Daniel Jones goes against arguably the worst cornerback room in the Dolphins and transitions to arguably the best cornerback room, if not the best defense in the NFL, in the Denver Broncos. So I'm not saying he's going to throw 3 interceptions, but he's not going to do what he did in week 1. I think Bo Nix plays a little bit better than he did in week 1. Broncos move to 2-0. Another tough one because the Chiefs are down Rashee Rice. They're down Xavier Worthy. And they're playing the reigning Super Bowl champs, the team that beat them in last season's Super Bowl. It's just me not seeing the Chiefs going 0-2 to start the season. I definitely could be wrong. But especially at home, yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Vikings minus 3.5 versus the Falcons. J.J. McCarthy keeps up that positive momentum from the second half of their Monday night game against the Bears, and they beat the Falcons by 6 or 7. If, as I mentioned earlier, I really thought the Jaguars had a very good chance of winning the AFC South, and it's, partly because I'm not a firm believer in the Texans. They made all those offensive line moves, but are they really better on the offensive line? And, people are starting to talk about how CJ Stroud, since his rookie year, has not looked anything close to that quarterback. Still was good enough to reach the playoffs and win a playoff game last year, but only scored 9 points against the Rams. I just think the Buccaneers are the better team. So even though they're on the road, they're underdog. Give me them. And I also was a little bit higher than the consensus on the Raiders. I thought, maybe a 7-10, 8-9 record for them at home Monday night. Yes, we got 2 Monday night games. Give me them over the Chargers. And then, man, I know it's super early in the year, but Raiders fans would probably be thinking postseason's a possibility with a 2-0 start. But let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree with my picks. Who are some of your best bets, man? I'll admit these videos don't always necessarily get me the most views. actually, maybe some of my least viewed videos at times. Some of them do well. I get it. There's picks everywhere on the internet, so it was hard to find motivation to do it this week. I'm like, should I just retire the series of making my picks each week? But you know what? I can't. So I'm gonna keep doing them. Views, whatever. It's something I enjoy doing, and I hope to do well. And again, if I keep continuing not to do well this year, go against my picks. But we'll see what happens. Should be a fun week two, starting with a fun Thursday night game. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.